Again, YouTube, this is Dr. Kendo, and I'm here with another Scribblenauts Unlimited Object Editor commentary, and this is the videos where I create your favorite characters in the Scribblenauts Unlimited Object Editor. If you like this kind of thing, we're creating Bendy and the Ink Machine today, but also a little bit of Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. We got a ton of those franchises on this channel, so please hit that subscribe button, as well as the bell icon, if you haven't yet, for the notifications. A minus sign is what we just typed in after having a golden egg as the source object. The golden egg completely black, because right now we're actually going to be starting off with creating the Bendy doll. And of course, these are like the little plush dolls or whatever from, well, we saw a whole bunch of them in Chapter 3. We've seen the Bendy doll before, basically, but right there, I actually used a new stamp that I haven't used before in this series. It was a cookie cutter shark, and basically we took the fin of the cookie cutter shark. So for those who don't know, we call any sort of piece that we're using in this game a stamp. So you know, this game actually does have a stamp limit. Like right now we're typing in Dory and we're taking the fish because there's a little fin down here at the bottom, kind of near where there is a fin down there that looks like a hand. Well, this is a little bit more longer, thinner fin that we're using for the side. It's basically going to be where the arms are for the little Bendy doll down there. Being that this is all black, it is like you're not going to see a lot of the details of where the arms start and stop. So that's why I made them just a little bit of like a shade less than completely black. Topaz we just used for the feet down there for the little doll. And we got a snowball coming up next, and all of this basically you just attach to that main golden egg that we started off with, because that was the body. So in essence, you know, we don't have to waste a stamp on doing the body itself if we just type in golden egg as the source object. A swordfish right now, we take that top fin of the swordfish right there. I hope you can see that, and we can move it just all the way up there past that snowball head, because that fin is going to be one of the horns right here, and we're going to do another one in just one moment. I want to get a whale fish, that top fin up here, because this will help me sort of place where things need to go. So here, now we can do the swordfish, the other fin right here to get the other horn for Bendy, the little Bendy doll, of course. And so I can see that they need to be a little bit smaller, obviously. So again, once I had that whalefish fin up there, I knew spatially where things should go a little bit better. And even then, there's still going to be some adjustment probably that needs to be done by the end of this whole thing. And so we got hemisphere coming up next, the hemisphere twice, of course, for the top part of the eyes. Now Bendy, of course, you guys all, if you are familiar with the character, you all know that he has the pie cut eyes. So I like to use a black mamba for the bottom eye piece right here. So that'll look good once we get that situated. Again, I did it just all the way black like the hemisphere. And the horns right now, I didn't do all the way black for that swordfish fin. You can do it if you want to, but the reason that I didn't is just so that you would see a certain detail and like lighting on it. I just thought it looked kind of nice. And so half rest we can put down here next to the eyes, the pie cut eyes. And notice that, of course, I had to increase the size of them and then decrease it. Scribblenauts Unlimited kind of has this weird thing where it basically doesn't let you move the item too far away from the source item. So if you're putting down a stamp, it won't let you move, for instance, that half rest all the way up where we wanted it to go, unless we first increase the size, then move it up, and then decrease it back down to the normal size. Once you have it placed where it needs to be, it takes a lot of just kind of increase, decrease, cycling through that. Tooth Fairy, we took the back arm of the female Tooth Fairy, and that's going to be for the mouth there for the little Bendy doll, and that Dory fin is yet another stamp that we're going to use. It's going to give some more volume to the head right here, being that the head should have some more black part of it showing behind that white, that snowball piece that we had earlier. That should be good. We got a jellyfish coming up next. We'll type that in and basically grab the tentacle piece. It's like an upper tentacle next to the body of the jellyfish. It basically makes a black line look to it, I guess. And we can use this black little line to be some lines for the teeth right here. So we're going to give our Bendy doll some teeth. There's probably, of course, more of them in the real actual Bendy and the Ink Machine, but of course we're working within the confines of Scribblenauts Unlimited. And of course, what I mentioned before, we can just now see that the stamp limit was reached. It gave us a little error. So basically, as I said before, you do have a limit to how many stamps you can put on to create your object. So we always try to get creative here and figure out if we can do two stamps that do one thing, or sometimes we create heads and bodies separately, which I'll show you with our second creation, because actually today we're going to be creating two things. So I like to also read background information and fun facts when we get to the properties editor, which is where we're at right now. We need to kind of hurry it up here because this one's short. So there are a few little plush dolls of Bendy and the Ink Machine characters, which we saw a lot of in the Chapter 3 game for Bendy, and I just thought it would be amazing to do a creation of at least one of them. Thus, we've got the Bendy doll here for this episode. Now, I also had a creation, though, from a while back that I never got to put up any week because I'm obviously really busy with my insane life that I've talked talked about numerous times on these videos, and now add a baby on top of all of that. But anyway, the other creation that I wanted to do here was what seems to be called Salvaged CHICA, although I have seen FNaF fans use other names as well, but it's basically the Chica that's sitting down looking half destroyed, and it's an image that was used by Scott Cawthon to tease an upcoming game, which we now know was the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, or what many also call FNaF 6, and hopefully you see all these epic Bendy characters. These are all ones that we've created from past episodes, and even my Kendo version of Bendy when we did Kendo in the Ink Machine. All of those on my channel, so don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. We're going to start off with the head as the source object for the next creation of the Salvaged CHICA, because we're going to create her head first and then the body separately. But I did just want to tell people, I did mention that I had a baby. Of course, baby Kendo is doing absolutely wonderful, everybody, so thanks to some of you who have asked about him. He's 8 weeks old at the time of this recording, and he's just a great kind of low-maintenance child, so thank you again. So after having that head source object, we painted it with that color pattern that sort of has this wavy texture to it and whatnot. We put red giant down there twice. Those are like the holes for the eyes, so there's a lot of just jagged edges around that, basically to imply some more of the witheredness of this Salvaged CHICA, which is what we're going to call it. Of course, you could call it by whatever nomenclature I guess you're going by. Destroyed CHICA might work. But anyway, a fire tornado, I took a piece of that. It's kind of off to the bottom and side, and that's painted black above the dentures. The dentures are basically to be the little endoskeleton teeth down there, and we can actually use just a pansy. It's the flower pansy, of course, with seaweed, the plant, up on top of that, and the seaweed is like the little wires coming down, whereas the pansy is a good stamp to get a lot of Chica feathers or hair or whatever up on the top of her head, and of course behind it, layered behind. The beauty back arm we used once again for the female beauty. We've done this a lot, that's why I say once again, because I used that basically for the eyebrows right there. Fire tornado we're gonna go with once again up next. I like this because it has that fire pattern within it, so the tornado, I guess it just gives it more depth and more texture and whatnot. We used a Joey. The Joey is a baby kangaroo, obviously, and we took the back arm of that, and that's one of the little wires coming out of the eye, but we're also gonna do it coming out of this fire tornado piece. So that's gonna be multiple times that we use that Joey stamp. I'm gonna go with Tusk after that, and the Tusk is something we can use actually twice, and it'll look kind of like her beak, I guess the bottom jaw piece or bottom beak piece, because notice that of course in that teaser image that we're creating right here, the Chica is missing that top beak, so you can see the endoskeleton mouth kind of in the back and the more on the level of the head, but coming out is the bottom beak or jaw piece. And so with that we got the teeth there, which was grills, G-R-I-L-L-Z of course in this game, and then a pimple for another tooth kind of going more closer to the face and going up the jawline, or beak line I guess we'll call it. Bubble was the white part starting of the eyes, and then we're gonna do Dot. The Dot is gonna be painted purplish like this. I'm not sure if the Chica's eyes were purple in that picture, but that's what we know Chica's eyes usually to be, is this purplish color, and so the, I guess, color palette in general is very like off and withered and just old looking, you know, it's kind of destroyed and all of that, so we definitely are using tones that I guess are not super saturated, not super bright or anything, and the Dot basically covered it all. So the Dot was not only for a little shine and shimmer when we painted it white in the eyes, but it was also for the iris and the pupil, all of that good stuff for the eye. We're gonna go with a Golem as the source object for the body though, and notice of course we're taking off the feet as well as the arms, both parts of the arms, and then the head, and I am gonna move these thigh pieces that remain, I'm gonna move them down a little bit, but you see that we get this color pattern. It looks like a cow print or whatever, but there are just a lot of holes in this Salvaged CHICA, and so we want to convey that with the color pattern right there, and that's why we've got that texture for the cow. Now that cow print is also on the plastic right here, which is the bib, and so that's good, and we took that same Golem thigh piece in the back. We're going to use that again for the arms, basically, at least the start of the arm, sort of where the bicep and the shoulder is of Chica here, and there was also an ostrich egg or a golden egg. You could use either one, but basically for that black kind of hole in the middle, it's underneath the plastic. Now notice there's text that says Helix on screen because we did go into the geometry library in Scribblenauts Unlimited, but if you are playing on Scribblenauts Unmasked, or you just want to type it in for some reason, you will need to type in Helix for those, I guess, purposes. Hair pipe is actually beneath the helix, so the helix is going to be for all this metallic, springy looking texture and design on the arms right there, but the hair pipe is within it, so it's almost like there is that like one main pipe for the arm, like one solid line line, and then the helix type shape goes around that because there's all that metal springiness around it. And a quad mount, we did it within that ostrich egg or the golden egg, whichever one you decide to use for that belly hole, and a tofu below that. So that quad mount with the tofu is kind of that midsection gut, I guess, animatronic pieces there, that endoskeleton parts. And we got PPEA, that's going to be for all these little circles. You're going to see this used many times, mostly on the extremities, so where the hands are supposed to go, where the knees are, and you may see it a few other times. And so then, of course, fire tornado piece was up there on that left, well, it's to our right, but the left shoulder piece of Chica here. And of course, every time I say Chica, I just, you guys probably already know this, but I'm talking about Salvaged Chica here, just for this purpose. And T-Rex, the back foot, it's, the bottom little feet pieces, but it's the T-Rex's back foot we use for the Chica feet here. And of course, paint them accordingly because one of them is just completely missing any sort of animatronic texture, and it's just an endoskeleton foot down there, but it has the little Chica, I guess, claws or talons, and another fire tornado piece coupled with a cuttlefish. And the cuttlefish is actually it's like the arm tentacle pieces, but it's the one that's in the very middle and near its head. We're gonna name it Salvaged Chica after we got that Megalania piece on there as well. We've used that before. It's the Megalania's like front leg, but it's the upper leg piece, so it's like as if it was a thigh or something, but it's in the front. So anyway, we're in the properties editor once more, and this is just gonna be pretty basic level, I guess, but you can obviously edit to have characters react to this Chica however you want it to. Honestly, you could make it an object that's not alive. You could make it a stationary sitting object if you wanted to. I'm kind of doing it as if we brought it back to life. We salvaged this teaser image and it's walking around. So a general script that I like to do also in a lot of these episodes is just in case you want to have them fight each other or any creations battle, you do a script where basically they, whenever this object loses or gains health, then it will add an adjective, which is either brave or fearless, and that way they won't run away. But notice we tried to put the head onto the body object by basically just giving that head object to the body itself, and notice it was way up high. The head was way not where it should be, and so that's normal. I know that I obviously knew that was going to happen right here, or I guess that may not be obvious to anybody that's new here, but use this button that has Maxwell's head and a banana and a wheel with dotted lines all around that. Once you've clicked that arrow in the bottom left corner, that'll basically show the green grids, and so there's a green grid where the head is supposed to go for our creation, but obviously there's a head missing because we created it separate from the body. You can move that grid anywhere that you feel you need it to go to make the head be where it should be. So notice now, as we have some other Chica creations, especially the most recent ones, I guess, since the last few months, basically. I would say since August. Those are the kind of newer Chica creations that I've done. One of them is a remake of Nightmare Chica, of course, to our right side. But then we had the recent episode of Funtime Chica, which is now an animatronic that is in the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, and our creation from today in the middle. So I definitely do hope that you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, remember to hit subscribe and the bell down below. I upload videos like this every Sunday, and it's based on what you guys want, but I do just want to preface that by saying this week, actually, we did these two creations, relatively simple, although I guess there were actually some complexities to it, but basically, I did this so I could prepare for next week, because the actual kind of most popular thing requires a little bit more time out of me, and that's the Rockstar animatronic, so I know that you guys want to see that, so that will be coming up next, actually, but any other kind of normal week, we do this by most popular, most requested, whatever you guys request in the comments down below, so the most popular things get created each week. But alright, I've talked way too much, so I will catch you guys on the next vid, and thanks for viewing.